This is Dave, and I'm here with Ethan, and together we are Dave and Ethan's 2000-inch Weird Al podcast, episode 135-inch. On this week's episode, Ethan digs into his former radio show's archive and plays his first interview with Rubén Valtierra from June 2011.
It's Dave and Ethan's 2000-inch Weird Al podcast.
It's a podcast about Weird Al.
It's Dave and Ethan's 2000-inch Weird Al podcast.
Seriously, the whole podcast is about Weird Al.
Dave and Ethan's 2000-inch Weird Al podcast.
You don't have to listen, but we're glad you are.
Dave and Ethan's 2000-inch Weird Al podcast.
Well, hey, Dave. Welcome to episode 135-inch.
Thank you, Ethan. You too. Now, obviously, since last week's episode, there has been a very special holiday.
Oh, that's right. Yes, so last Friday was Record Store Day, and it featured a brand new Weird Al release. Now, Dave, did you have any luck picking up the brand new Record Store Day exclusive 12-inch maxi single featuring Weird Al?
I did. And as you know, the Record Store Day exclusive release for the 12-inch Beat on the Brat single featured not only 3 Weird Al songs, including the album version of Beat on the Brat, but also 2 live tracks recorded on the ridiculously self-indulgent, ill-advised Vanity Tour way back in 2018, as well as some additional Ramones cover tracks from Osaka Pop Star.
I'm so glad you got one, Dave. I got one too, and you know, it wasn't quite as special of a day because we weren't together in our battle stations. It really wasn't as hectic, you know, as when we were tracking down the 3-inch Beat on the Brat vinyl, as we chronicled on episode 116-inch.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, we still spreadsheeted everything, of course, because, you know, that's what we do. But, you know, I did notice that there were less stores that actually had the 12-inch vinyl this time. Or at least, you know, there were less stores that put it for sale online.
Yeah, I guess for some reason, this 12-inch maxi single was just a little bit harder to track down. We heard from a couple of our friends and listeners that they were having trouble finding it, despite there was apparently more of the 12-inch maxi single released than that 3-inch vinyl single.
Yeah, well, supposedly. I mean, we know the 3-inch vinyl had a run of 1,500, and we've seen, you know, different numbers for the 12-inch. Namely, we've seen 2,500 and 3,000. And there was even one website that said only 1,000 were produced. But, you know, either way, it was still a pretty big run. So it was a little odd that it was so difficult for us to track down copies of this.
Well, regardless of how many are out there, it seems like the scalpers aren't going too crazy on this one. So hopefully all of our listeners are able to track down a copy for themselves.
Yeah, I know a few people have already posted their pictures of the single over on our group, group.2000inch.com. So if you want to join in on the fun, head on over to group.2000inch.com and share your Record Store Day pictures and your Record Store Day experience with us.
Oh, and speaking of, you know, last week, Dave, how was your Thanksgiving?
Oh, my Thanksgiving was great. I actually spent it with the family. We had a really good dinner and a really good time. How was your Thanksgiving, Ethan?
I also had a great day. We had some tofurkey, we had some pie. It was a great day. And you know, we had 4 different kinds of pie, so I tried a taste of each of them, and I gave my definitive ranking to the family. I wish you were there, and I wish it was recorded, but I did rank apple pie as the number 1 pie at my Thanksgiving dinner.
Ooh, good choice. I actually ranked pumpkin pie as my number 1 pie at my Thanksgiving dinner. So we'll have to maybe do a secret episode where we taste different pies and different cakes and stuff and we rank them all.
That'd be great. Well, last week was Thanksgiving and Black Friday and Record Store Day. And this week, in Weird Al related news, I wanted to mention Weird Al's Instagram post that went viral on Thanksgiving.
Oh, that was such a great post. All right, so if you look at the picture, it appears that Al and his family spent the holiday in New York City. And if you look really closely in the picture that Al posted, you can see behind him a giant Funko Baby Yoda balloon from the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
What a fun way to spend Thanksgiving. I think that was a great idea. They got to see the whole parade right from there. Dave, when I showed up at my mom's house for Thanksgiving, the parade was on. And I had seen Al's post, so I was excited. I was looking for Baby Yoda, and I didn't see it anywhere. And that's when we realized that my mom had put on the 2019 Thanksgiving Day Parade. We're like, Man, this seems outdated. Nobody's wearing a mask. Like, it was very weird. She just found some video on YouTube and put play.
Oh, jeez, wow. Like, how do you even do that?
I don't know.
Did she save it on her DVR from 2019? What is going on?
Who knows?
Well, Ethan, it is the season. What are you thankful for?
Well, I'm thankful that this past Friday, Black and White and Weird All Over Friday, episode 9 centimeter, chapter 6, Living with a Hernia video shoot of our Black and White and Weird All Over bonus episode series dropped exclusively for our Patreon family.
Now, this is, of course, our book series where we sit down with the author John Bermuda Schwartz and we go picture by picture through his book Black and White and Weird All Over, The Lost Photographs of Weird Al Yankovic, 1983 through 1986.
And remember, our Patreon family get to hear all bonus episodes early, so that will be the only way you can hear bonus episode 9 centimeter. Well, the only way until we release it to the general cheapskate public.
So don't be a cheapskate and head on over to patreon.com/2000inch to check out that episode and our entire back catalog of secret episodes, as well as all the other fun stuff that we've posted.
And Dave, isn't that the last chapter in the book?
That is the last chapter in the book, but we will have another episode with Bermuda coming up to kind of sum up the rest of the book and, give his overall impressions on the book.
I cannot wait for that. Now, speaking of Thanksgiving last week, Dave, who carved the annual holiday burrito at your celebration?
Well, it's traditionally my mom carves it, but I think this year my mom had a little help with it from my aunt. So this week's episode is brought to you in part by vegan burrito restaurant Burrito in Troy, New York, home of the 2-pound double wrapped in a quesadilla burrito, and Wizard Burger in Albany, New York. Come on down to Burrito and Burrito, your burrito, or hop on over to Wizard Burger for mouth-watering, loaded, dare I say beefy, vegan burgers. From Troy to Albany to Uranus, Burrito and Wizard Burger feed the hungry with out-of-this-world plant-based real food, always vegan style. Visit burritosquared.com and wizardburger.com to order ahead.
Burrito makes a delicious Thanksgiving feast.
Well, for nearly 8 years, Ethan hosted an interview radio show called Alternative to Sleeping with Ethan Ullman on WCDB 90.9 FM and Comedy Pipe Internet Radio.
Yes, I started Alternative to Sleeping back when I was in college, and I interviewed everyone from Jimmy Fallon to Weird Al to Lewis Black to just random people who were local comedians at the time. So there was a real wide range of people I had on the show, but my absolute favorite people to interview were, of course, people from the Weird Al universe.
Well, those interviews have been sitting in Ethan's archives since 2011, and unless you were listening to Alternative to Sleeping with Ethan Ullman back in 2011, or you're a time traveler or you have a time machine, you probably haven't heard them before. So we thought we'd try something fresh and original this week and play one of those interviews. All right, so Ethan, I know you've interviewed each band member and even Al himself during your run of Alternative to Sleeping. What would be a good one for us to start with?
And while this didn't come first chronologically, I think this would be a great one to start with. My first ever interview with Rubén Valtierra.
Oh, that's a great idea. Rubén Valtierra, the keyboard player with Weird Al since like 1991. He's still the new guy in the band, but he's he's a great choice.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear that interview.
Yeah, so this was, back in 2011, and I hadn't ever met Rubén, I don't think. So I didn't really know much about him or his personality, and I really didn't know what to expect, but I was blown away at how wacky and funny he was. So it was a lot of fun, and I especially want to play this interview first because it features a mention of a certain tattooed Weird Al superfan. Let's see if you can guess who that may be.
Okay, I have a few guesses of who that might be. All right, go on.
So this interview with Rubén, it's from June 14th, 2011, and this was just before the release of the Alpocalypse album.
All right, now keep in mind that this interview is from 2011, and Ethan, you and I were still 8 years away from recording together, so I'm not actually in this one, though I really wish I was there to record it with you. So there may be references to things in there that were going on specific to that time, but for historical accuracy, we will play the entire interview unedited as it originally aired. All right, Ethan, I'm ready. Let's take a listen.
You're listening to Alternative to Sleeping with Ethan Ullman, the special Weird Al tribute of Alternative to Sleeping with Ethan Allman. And we've got a very special guest on the phone, keyboardist for Weird Al, Rubén Valtierra. Did I say it right?
That's perfect.
Really?
That's perfect. I love you. Marry me.
Well, we did spend at least 5 minutes discussing it off the air.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
But,
yes, we did.
But
you got it right, and everything is great, right, Espen?
Yeah, that's right. And to the listeners, they just think I'm a great pronouncer.
Is that Espen or Ethan?
It's Ethan.
Okay. Now I got it. Now we're on the same page.
What about my last name? Do you know my last name?
Let's see. I forget.
It's Allman.
Allman. Ethan Allman.
That's right.
That sounds like a candy bar.
You know, it could be. It's not almond.
You know?
It's not like the
Tracy.
nut. It's ULL, like Tracy. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I see. And you say my name wrong, and it's a sandwich.
You know, if we say each other's names wrong, then we're just a pairing of food.
If we keep going along this line, then we're wasting everybody's time. But they probably are already shut off by now.
Well, if they're listening to my show, they're already wasting time. So I'm sure they'll be fine with this.
Well, cool. Well, I'm honored to be here.
Ruben, I'm very honored to.
You did it. See, you already did it.
Ruben?
You already called me Ruben.
Ruben.
I'm hanging up.
Okay, Ruben. I'm very honored to have you on the show.
No, nobody respects me.
I respect you a lot.
I used to play Carnegie Hall. I used to be like one of the up-and-coming Leonard Bernstein picks for classical pianists. I used to have fame. I used to have fortune, and then I met Al.
Well, I'm a very big fan of your music, and I'd say you're probably my favorite keyboardist.
Aw, come on.
Yep.
So obviously you got my check in the mail.
I haven't cashed it yet. I'm not completely sure it's legit, but
That's all I can afford. Hey, I'm a musician. I'm an artist. Yeah, that's it. I'm an artist. Call this art? Oh my God.
Ruben.
Yes.
All right, Ruben. All right, so I want to ask you some questions.
That was like 5 minutes on my name.
And I'm sure we'll talk about it again. I'm very sure.
No, please, no.
All right. I want to skip to this question. So, the biggest Weird Al fan I know is Dan Rossi, and he has tattoos, caricatures of each band member, except for you. Does that hurt your feelings?
No, because the thing is I've seen the tattoos, and I can only guess that there's only space for one more, and I think I know where it is. So I will not have anything to do with this venture. Thank you very much.
You're not a little hurt. You're not a little hurt.
No, because he asked me, and I said no.
Oh, really?
Because I'm not kidding around. I've looked and I've seen his body and where the tattoos are. I'm going, there's only space for one more, and people already call me that name. I don't have to have it like a visual of it. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. This is a family show.
No,
That's right. I'm known as the adult portion of the Al show. So.
Well, my show is not family. I'm sorry. Maybe a very messed up family, but not family.
All right. Cool. Then I'll hang out.
All right. All right. So, tell me how you got into the band.
I fell on my head.
Really?
Yes.
And that was the audition process. You just have to sit on your head.
I fell on my head. Okay, so I'm a keyboardist that has been playing, for many years in not top 40 bands, but like bands like Chick Corea's kind of bands, fusion and heavy technical stuff, and a lot of soloing, a lot of chops.
Okay.
And I had a classical background, and I had a jazz background, and I was into jazz fusion and rock and stuff like that. And I get a call to, it says Weird Al needs a keyboard player, but it wasn't really that. It was that Dr. Demento was having his 20th anniversary show being taped, and Al's band was the rhythm section for it.
Okay.
They didn't have a keyboardist, so somebody I know was in the orchestra, one of the horn players, and he recommended me. I went, and it was I was backing up all of Dr. Demento's guests, playing the guy that did the Purple People Eater and Bobby Boris Pickett doing the Monster Mash. And then Al has a bit. He's the star of the show.
Yeah.
And I'm like asking the guys. I'm asking Jim West and Bermuda, who I just met that day. So where's your regular keyboardist? And they say, well, Al doesn't really have a regular keyboardist. So I've been in town for about maybe a year in L.A.
Yeah.
And I go, Al doesn't have a regular keyboardist. And they go, no. And I say, cha-ching. Well, hey, look, it's like, this was a chance. So I'm like, okay. So Al does a thing where he lowers the lights and has the keyboardist play some soft cocktail music. Well, we did that, and the keyboardist is supposed to start, playing a little too much, and Al gives him a look, and the keyboardist stops. Then the keyboardist does it again, plays too much. Al gives him a look, and stops. It does it again. Finally, Al goes up, taps the guy on the shoulder, and pokes him in the eye, and the guy goes, "Ow!" Right. So when it came time for when the taping came, we did the bit, and I started overplaying. So Al gives me a look, and I kind of stop and look around and look stupid, and people are starting to laugh. And then we do it again. I stop and look around and look stupid again. The last time, he comes up, taps me on the shoulder. Instead of me turning to him, I really patted. I waved him off. I pushed him away and kept going.
Okay.
He looked around and said, huh? And he did it again. I pushed him away again. He finally got really mad at me and turned me around and slammed me in the head with doing the eye poke. Whereupon, instead of saying "ouch," I flew off a 6-foot riser, dragging all sorts of drapes and curtains, smashed onto the floor. They stopped production. Jay Levy, the manager and the director of the show, stopped production. Everybody came running over and saying, "Oh my God, Rubén, what?" And they found me on the floor in the middle of a bunch of giant pillows that I had set up.
Oh.
Because I wanted to be Al's keyboardist.
You wanted to make an impression.
And I made an impression on my head, pretty much. It's still there. I haven't been the same since.
Oh, man. So that Al just hired you on the spot?
They looked at me, and they looked at each other, and they said, we did this show, and that was fun. And then I went off to France to play in a super group in Monte Carlo with like Stevie Wonder's people and Diana Ross's people.
Oh, cool.
This is what I was usually doing. I was playing this kind of stuff, and I got a call from Steve J saying, "Hey, I got I listened to my answering service, and it was Steve J saying, "Hey, Rubén, Al, I'm the bass player with Al, and he said he loves your stuff and he wants you to come on tour. So here's this number." And I'm like desperately trying to scratch it into the wall of the phone booth in France because I didn't have a pencil or anything.
Oh,
and
man.
it's really hard to make calls there and get retrieve calls. And the next thing I know, that was the beginning of the '92 tour, the Off the Deep End tour. And the thing is that truth be said, I'm not kissing up, I'm just telling the truth. I've been playing with a lot of great artists. This kind of music was not what I was, it was like top 40-ish and whatever, and it wasn't my stuff. But I saw in rehearsal and I saw in performance how great Al really was, even though he's much more nervous back in those days and just more frenetic, But I saw it, and I saw his work ethic, and I saw the talent, and I saw the dedication, and I said, this is not this is not just a gig that you do. And he thinks a lot. I really wanted to stick with Hal.
Yeah.
And I've had lots of offers from all sorts of different artists. Tower Power, all sorts of people, you know. And I said no, because I've seen a lot of people go through these, you know, play with these artists for a couple of months or a year, and then something happens, and
Right.
and they go away, or they get bored of this or that, or the artist is like just a one-hit wonder for, you know, he's
Right.
really great for like a couple of months, and I'm here playing with one of the great entertainers, great performers, and great artists.
Yeah.
I think I'm kissing up, but it's the truth.
It is. Yeah, I
You know?
agree with you. You know,
The guy's a legend in his own time, and I'm proud to be part of it.
I don't think there are many other performers that you can really name that have remained great and relevant for as long as he has.
Well, that's the thing. The thing is he's got the work ethic, because he just goes in, he won't stop working. But the thing is that he's got the genius in that he went in and created his own category, his own niche. And the genius thing about it is he will always have an audience.
Yeah.
Because he could get edgier, super edgy. He's got that kind of, he's got that mind, he's got that humor. He could do it, but the thing is he found what works. He sticks with it. It is close to his heart.
Yeah.
So he's not like you know, being false about it. But the stuff he comes up with, you know, it's what it is, and you know, there's always a new audience.
Yeah.
And yet he's such a great performer that he keeps the old audience.
Yeah.
So it's just bigger and bigger and bigger every time we go out. You know, so I'm very proud of it. So what do you think of that? How'd I do?
I think you did great.
Mm.
Were you a fan of Al before you performed with them and then joined the band?
Well, I mean, I knew his material and stuff, and I still remember being with driving down to a concert somewhere, not Al, just one of my gigs, and it was like a 2-hour drive, and my friend pops in his cassette and says, "You gotta listen to this," and we heard 3D and the polka medley and the whole thing, and it was just it was funny, it was ridiculous. But if somebody had come up to me, or somebody had turned to me at that moment and said, "By the way, you're going to be playing with this guy. This is the guy you're going to be playing with for 20 years and on," I would have looked at him and said, "You know, shut up." It's the most ridiculous thing. Just like, stop wasting my time, because it was just like, no, I would never, because I was doing more of Herbie Hancock kind of stuff, salsa, all sorts of stuff. You know, the Yellow Jackets, David Sanborn. That's the kind of stuff. My band always sounded like what the Letterman band used to sound like with Paul Schaefer like 20 years ago, doing all that really hip stuff.
Yeah.
And I would have never have thought that I was doing this. But it's like, the guy's so great. I mean, come on. Because that's the thing. It's like, you can hope to be playing great music, and you can play great music, but sometimes the leader is just the worst person in the world, or doesn't have it together at all.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and nothing is right, and you know, and it's just like, so you may love the music, but the rest of it, forget it. And Al is a great leader, a great and he just treats us really great. So I'm in heaven.
Yeah.
I love it.
Now, what did they do for a keyboardist before you came along?
They had some other guy who was more of a studio guy, and he didn't really want to tour that much. He went off to produce more stuff with I think with Richie Blackmore from Purple and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
I think he was more of a stay-at-home guy. And you know, the thing is Al started off kind of small, and the concerts were kind of crazy and frenetic, and just not as produced as they are obviously now. I mean,
yeah, even I was at the Turning Stone show, and the year before I was at the Watertown show, and even just in 1 year, the production value increased tremendously. like the integrated projectors. That was amazing.
Yeah, and the thing is that he actually just went out and upgraded the technology even more, because we've been talking to him about really upgrading to higher. He had like a special kind of server that was very proprietary. You couldn't find this thing anywhere. It was like a one-of-a-kind thing. And so if it broke down, which, first rehearsal, I think FedEx came in and delivered the server, and as they got to the door, they dropped it.
Oh, my God.
And for the entire like Australian tour a couple of years ago, the thing would just freeze.
Oh, man.
And it's like time for Rubén to run out and, prance around and look like an idiot, to stall for time. Or that's why we do things like radio. Everybody knows that when he does radio, it's because there's a problem. I mean, that's the funny thing about connectivity and YouTube and everything. It's like the concerts aren't really a surprise anymore. It's the weirdest thing. It's like what Bruce Springsteen said. It's so weird to be playing in front of people, but they're not looking at you. They're all looking at their cell phones and filming you.
Yeah.
And so the thing is that our concerts aren't a mystery anymore, because everybody's out there with their cell phones,
right?
Filming it, and then they go home and they upload it on YouTube. So everybody knows that when we play radio, it means something wrong happened. Well, the thing is he got rid of that server and is upgraded even to a higher technology, and everything is totally seamless now. It's just.
And that's the one that I saw a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, and it's gotten even better because they've gone in and tweaked it even more.
Wow.
But now, that's the end. That's the end of that run. We're getting ready to put on a new tour. Any
chance that Like a Surgeon's going to be added?
I'm not going to say anything. How's that?
I think when I must have been 9, or when I saw my first one, and I think that must have been the Running with Scissors tour. You guys did Like a Surgeon.
We did the Madonna Like a Surgeon one.
Right. And you came out, and that was incredible.
Well, yeah, that was the end of my musical career. And
luckily before YouTube, though.
But he did. There is a legacy that is preserved, because we did a concert and filmed a concert for DVD.
Right.
And the weirdest thing is that it was in my hometown.
Oh, man.
And so, and the thing is that this was the Marin Veterans Civic Auditorium, which has, there's a trivia thing that Frampton actually taped, he recorded Frampton Comes Alive, the famous, the historic album, at that place. And I saw it, and I was there. And like a lot of people, millions of people tell Peter, he told me, they tell him, oh yeah, man, I was there. And he's like, oh yeah, that was you freak. And so all these millions supposedly saw him, at that concert. But I actually did. So I played in my high school orchestra there. I saw Peter Frampton there. And then when I finally appeared there for real, I was in the cone, bro. My parents vowed to never come to any concerts anymore.
Oh, man.
They said, all that money for classical lessons, and this is what you do? Oh, what can you say?
Now, are there any songs, barring awkward costumes, are there any songs that are just difficult to perform from a keyboard standpoint?
Well, I mean, the ones that are difficult to perform, if they're deemed, the thing is that Al is in control. He's in charge, and the thing is that with more, with more technology comes more power,
Right.
and he's using it. But the only drawback is, and I'm sure the fans know by now, because it doesn't take much, I would think, to realize that if there's an orchestra and a choir of like 60 people, if there's 5 guitar parts going at the same time, well, it's kind of impossible for us to be doing it all.
Yeah.
So the thing is that is, of course, a professional secret, but at the same time, it's just gotten crazy.
Yeah. Well, it's
Because,
commonplace.
it's like our favorite songs. I mean, how is anybody going to recreate something like Genius in France?
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Yeah.
How does anybody recreate some of the Queen songs, with those vocals that are so unbelievably perfect?
Yeah.
Not even Queen could do that. So, we get a little help. And the thing is that if there's something that's really difficult, sometimes I get a little help.
So,
But all the ones that are featured piano parts and stuff, those are my favorite songs to play.
now, are you...
Because-
Oh, sorry, you can go on.
Oh, I was just saying that they're my favorite ones to play because Al has matured in his musicality, where he used to want everything to sound exactly the same as the record.
Yeah.
I used to complain to him. I'm always complaining to him about stuff like that, because the thing is that some of the songs that he did, he was very young, and he had somebody else. He had Rick Derringer producing.
Right.
And I wasn't a fan of the way Derringer was producing the piano parts. Some of them were really cheesy, and the songs were really good. Something like "You Don't Love Me Anymore." That's a great song to play on the keyboard, and you can take a lot of liberties with it and still make it sound really good. But he had a really cheesy part on it, and he wanted me to recreate that all the time. I finally got sick and complained, and he said, "Okay." Sounds like I lost you. Are you there?
No, I'm still here.
Okay.
I'm listening intently.
He said it's go for it. Play it the way you like to play it. And so I started doing that, and he started seeing and having confidence in me that let me play it the way I want to play it, and
Right.
it'll sound better. So a lot of those songs, like "You Don't Love Me Anymore," or the one that Ben Folds played. Well, why does this always happen to me? Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that it? I forget.
I think so.
Some of those things, and they're hard, but I love playing them.
Are you in charge of playing the additional tracks, like of the chorus or extra instruments, or is that someone else?
We have help.
You got like an engineer off stage doing them?
We have a lot of techs running.
Oh, really?
around. Yeah. We the thing is that Al used to actually have more theater people that were more into theater and Broadway plays.
Mm-hmm.
Being our techs, but it got to the point where they couldn't hang because the technology was so demanding, and they weren't they didn't know how to run servers or computers or this.
Right.
If something breaks, we're doomed. So he's been surrounding himself with real high tech guys, and so everything is running seamless. And if I can't do something, then something else is. It's not. We don't have one solution, like one person pushing a button or this or that. We have
Right.
all sorts of different ways to do stuff, and it's all integrated, and it's too hard to even describe.
So how many people tour? How many people are traveling with the tour?
I think about 13 or 14.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
is it all buses? Is there like 10 buses that go around?
Oh, there's no need for 10 buses.
How many buses are there?
Mostly the band is on one bus, and then the crew's on the other bus.
Oh, okay.
And Al has been just living in that bus. he's got everything all strewn about, and he's got his studio all set up in there, and he's just constantly working. He works until he drops, and then he gets some sleep. And it's crazy though. He's like his voice can't, his throat can't take air conditioning, so he seals off all the vents in his part of the bus, because he's got the major stateroom in the back. He's got the whole back half of the bus for himself.
Right.
And he shuts off all this stuff, and he lives back there in about 110-degree heat.
Oh my
God!
God!
He doesn't care. He's just like he's Al. He's not like us.
Yeah.
He's the guy that can put his feet behind his head, and and what's so strange about this?
How? But with just two buses, how do you transport everything that is needed?
No, there's a semi too. We have.
Oh, really?
Trucks. Yeah, we have trucks.
Oh, wow! I didn't realize that. So.
So we've got trucks, and we've got semis, and we have a separate truck that brings around all the Al merchandise, because it's amazing to see all the fans. They just eat it all up.
Well, it's
all one piece of Al.
I think the main thing is that it's not just thrown together merchandise. It's all really cool stuff. It's not just like slap a name on there and sell it, for
no. There's
$40.
A lot of our merch lady, lady in charge of it all, does a lot of rock festivals and puts them on. How do I say? Manages some major rock festivals, and yet her vacation is to come and work with us, because she doesn't have as much responsibility, but she knows all about the merch stuff, and she says that all the other bands, all the other acts just have cheap T-shirts and this and that, and charge a bunch of money, and just iron on decals and stuff.
Right.
And she makes sure that Al's stuff is the highest quality stuff. So
it really is.
Even though the prices may look like a little inflated or something at the
compared to other shows, it's pretty inexpensive to get an Al shirt, especially considering the quality of it.
Yeah, that's the thing. It won't fall apart, after a couple of washings. What am I? Now I sound like Betty White advertising for GE hot dishwasher. My God. I'm advertising Al stuff. I don't even get a percentage there. Wait a minute.
You don't get a percentage of it?
Now. It's not my stuff. Al's the boss. He takes fine care of this. He takes very good care of it.
All right. Yeah.
Maybe first class flights, though. That would be nice. We've got to go to New York pretty soon to do some stuff, so I could do a first class flight. Where are you located right now?
Am I what?
Where are you located right now?
I'm in Albany, New York.
Yeah, we did a thing, and Jimmy Fallon opened for us a long time ago up there.
I've seen you guys every time you've come through since I was 9. So
where was that?
It's at the Palace.
I know that place.
Yep.
It's got the really nice big marquee and stuff, and it's on a corner.
Yeah, and the dressing rooms are really old and crappy.
I don't. Yeah, we've seen some bad ones.
I'm sure.
But I'll tell you, the ones what really gets me though, are your interested fans out there. Are you really going to use all this?
Yeah.
For all your interested fans out there, the thing that I don't like is some of these theaters have histories, and as much as some people don't believe it, well, I have an open mind, and so those things they seem to like to come around and fool around with me. In other words, some of these places have ghosts; they're haunted.
Wow.
And it might be either ghosts or it might be electrical problems or this or that or a little bit of both, because that's how they manifest themselves.
Right.
There's a place in Pennsylvania called in Glenside, and it's this little theater. But I've been told, I always had a funny feeling about it. and then I was told that there's like a guy upstairs, who likes to play with the band. And I'm talking about where you're playing and suddenly your programs start changing. And things like that.
That's
and
weird.
That happened to us the last time we were there, and
Oh, wow.
really shut down the server.
Oh, that's
the
weird.
old server. And and I went to look at a program that goes from 1 to 127. That's the range.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
it's like a MIDI thing. It's a musical thing, musical technological thing. And the range goes from 1 to 127. The amount that was allotted was minus 5,043.
Oh my God.
You can't enter a negative number
Yeah.
into this stuff. There's
Wow.
no way. You can't spin the knob the opposite direction. It goes into minus numbers. It doesn't do that.
Why does it
And
even?
somehow
How can it even display a negative number though?
it just did. It
Okay.
just did. It was a minus. Well, I guess it's set up to show a minus, but even though a minus is not relevant or pertinent or
Yeah.
applicable in this case, but there it was.
Wow.
It might as well show the happy face.
Wow. That's creepy.
On my LED screen. I'm like, what the? And it happens every time we go there.
Just that place.
There's other places that have histories too, but this place is really strong. And he went in
Wow.
and shut down the server, and Al said, "Well, that's it." And he went and got the new technology.
Oh, okay.
So what else do you want to know? As you can see, I'm not shy about these things.
No, yeah. I think we're gonna have to do another interview sometime because there's a lot I want to ask you, and we're having some good conversation. At least I think we are. I don't know if you're bored.
I'm having a great time.
Okay.
I was worried about saying too much.
If
the albums-
you're saying too much,
albums-
I'll interrupt you.
Well, like the album's coming out, and people want to know this and that about that, and I'm like, I don't know.
What's the main question people are asking you right now about the new album?
Like what's the first single, stuff like that. Do you know what the first single is?
Yeah, it's whatever you like.
Oh, okay. No comment.
Well, it is, right? Because that was the first song to come out.
Oh,
Do you disagree
not-
with me?
I'm not saying anything.
Well, Born This Way is the first
Whoa,
single.
whoa. Well, what's this about? What'd you say?
What is it?
What'd you say?
Did I get it wrong? Is it Performed
What
This
did
Way?
you-
I've
Well,
never.
Did you hear about that? What is that about?
Let me just. What is the Al song? I've never heard the Lady Gaga version, so I'm very confused right now.
All right.
His is
See, what I'm
performed-
doing is I'm making you say it, not me, so I don't get in trouble. I'm presenting it in a way so that you actually say it and not me, like what it might be.
Is it? It's Performed This Way, right?
I won't say no.
What's the Lady Gaga song? What's the?
The Lady Gaga song, she has a hit out that's called "Born This Way."
Okay, yeah. So I did misspeak. You got me all
Okay.
confused.
But I
here.
didn't know that anybody might have known anything about anything that had to do with Lady Gaga and Al.
Rubén.
Yes.
So, obviously that's going to be the promoted big single, but I would disagree if someone said that was the single because Whatever You Like came out like 2 or 3 years ago.
Well, I've seen what is going to be presented when the album hits, and I've got to say that I am. The thing is that you've got, and I don't discuss this with Al because it seems like it would be a sensitive thing, but he's actually pretty cool about it. But I'm talking about the fact that people like Andy Samberg and all the Saturday Night Live people are coming up with these digital shorts, basically videos, every week, and they're going viral.
Right.
And I'm thinking, wow, Al, that's got to be kind of tough because they're always coming out with something. And I haven't really said anything about it. We did mention something, and he said that Andy Samberg's been really nice, nothing but nice to him, and big fan. And but the thing is, when Al comes out and shows the new video, nobody's going to be talking about Andy Samberg stuff any of the Saturday Night Live. Nobody's going to remember that stuff.
It's that good of a video?
I've seen what's being readied. It's been a long process, but it's pretty amazing.
I'm really excited.
It's pretty amazing. I think.
Is Lady Gaga in it?
I'm not saying anything.
Okay.
I'm just saying it's pretty amazing.
All right.
I mean, in other words, it's like, okay, well, I've been sitting back and I haven't been putting out anything, but I've been waiting, and now here it is.
If you want to spill the beans, I will keep this interview, and I won't.
No, I can't.
No. I won't air it until after the CD comes out.
No, I'm still not going to talk about it.
Okay.
But I'm just going to say it's amazing. And
Okay.
you know what? Anybody that doesn't think that it's amazing is just one of those people with a chip on their shoulder.
So do you think, is the video going to be like how White and Nerdy just completely skyrocketed the second it came out? Is it going to be like that?
I didn't know about, I had no idea that White and Nerdy was going to do that, because the thing is, I mean, I'm sorry to say, but I listen to classical, and I listen to jazz, and some salsa and stuff like that. I don't keep up with the latest trends and this and that. I didn't know who Chameleonaire was. I didn't know the song. And then when Alston came out, it just blew, and I had no idea that it would. I thought it was going to be like another, Whatever You Like, or Skipper Dan, or just anything that he's released, which is good, but I didn't know that it was going to be completely viral. But seeing the video, seeing what he's been working on with the new thing, the new hit, which I still haven't said.
You can't say Performance Way? It's available on iTunes. You can't talk about it?
Well, I won't talk about what the video is, though.
Okay. Well,
what it's patterned after, but I think you're getting my gist. Once people see that, I would think, just because I think it would bring videos back.
You think? Wow.
Yeah.
MTV will have to start showing them again.
I've been waiting. It's even though I hated videos back then, and then you get used to them. Back in the '80s, I kind of miss it now.
I don't think any music video compares to any Weird Al music video. They're just the funniest, most interesting videos to watch. Well,
yeah, his thing is that Al's this guy who's totally he directs everything. He controls everything.
Right.
And it's like it took me a long time to actually figure out that my input was not required. Because I was used to going in and being the star of the show wherever I was, whatever group I was, and having ideas that would, make a song really good.
Yeah.
And I was used to that. And then when I started saying, seeing something was like not right in rehearsal, I would like speak up and say, "Don't you want to do?" And then everybody would look at me and go, "Dude, this is not your take. This is you're supporting Al. If Al wants it this way, that's right." And so the thing is, what I'm saying is that he's in control, and he had other people producing his albums before, and he would sit there and watch them.
Right.
And he learned what to do, and then he got rid of them, and he started producing. And then the same way with the videos. He started watching the video, the director, seeing the way he did it, and he goes, "Okay, great, now I know." And he got rid of the directors. So he does it all, And so, in other words, he's got carte blanche. He's got the power to be able to call all the shots.
Yeah.
And so he's able to see. And this is what happened. This is what the problem was with the Saturday morning show. Right.
There's so many restrictions from the network.
Well, it's not just the restriction. Well, but there were also the powers that be. The Dick Clark people that came in and said, "Listen, you got to. This is all fine and well, but you got to also have the, the broccoli part of the show. All the nutritive stuff, all the good stuff. Be good to your neighbors and all that kind of. And the thing is that it wasn't about that, and that's why the show did not last, because nobody wanted to see Al be, like regular guy,
right?
And do regular programming. They wanted to see Weird Al be Weird Al, and the stuff that I got to see that wasn't used was great.
Why didn't
funny.
they put it on the DVD?
I'm not sure.
I would buy just a special features DVD of that show to see all that stuff.
Yeah, it was great. But at the same time, I think once they started like putting restrictions on him, it might have hampered his let's see, creative processes. It might have put a bit of a muzzle on him, and so he might have had an inkling of some crazy thing to do, but then he might have just shut it down.
Right.
And so that's really sad because it could have been really, really, really great.
Yeah. And, even with what we do have, it still is really great. It's not a crap show. I still really enjoy it.
The thing is that I've heard that Pee Wee Herman's Pee Wee's Playhouse, which was on Broadway, and I think there was a HBO or Showtime special or something.
Yeah.
That was like way more amazing than TV would have allowed.
Yeah.
And it's cool to see Pee Wee come back and do something like that because it was like tons of innuendo, a lot of adult material going on. And it'd be nice. I don't know, network TV, no, and Al. Network TV is too closed. Wouldn't be able to allow Al to do what he did.
Yeah.
What he does.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm having a great time talking to you. Let's
Rubén.
keep talking. What do you want to know?
I'm thinking we should do another interview sometime because I think we've already been talking for like 40 minutes.
See, usually the guest is the one that wants to go, and now this time the host is actually saying,
I don't want to go.
You gotta go.
I feel that you're so easy to talk to, and like I've only asked you like 4 questions. I want to have you on again. I want there to be more for us to talk about. If you'd be up for that.
Like I said, my only problem is telling too much, so I have to always watch myself.
I don't know how you can tell too much.
Then we can talk about all our wonderful fans.
Here, I'll find one more question. Oh, I want to hear about your side projects. How can we check that stuff out?
My side projects. Let's see. I put out my CD, which will show you that my music is nothing like Al's.
Right.
And I was very, very happy with a lot of the stuff. I think. I'm a terrible salesman because the stuff is my stuff, comes from my heart. I feel like an idiot trying to tell people, hey, this is great, you should listen to it. It's just like all I'm saying is just preview it, see if you like it. I know you will. Adults like it. People that don't like Al, they like it. People that like Al, they like it. I'm doing everything from R&B to salsa to some jazz to rock to all sorts of stuff. You can go to RubénValtierra.net.
.net.
It's RubénValtierra.net.
Why not .com? Someone else has it?
Because somebody went and grabbed it before I got a chance. They want like $1,000 for me to be able to own it. It's like, give me a break.
Oh man,
that was like a long time ago. I wish that person would go away.
Do they still have it?
Yeah, they do. I don't know how much it would cost, but there's so many other ways to get a hold of me. Either like there's Facebook.
You Google your name and your website's going to come up. It's almost like you don't even need to know your URLs anymore.
Google my name and you see me wearing things I don't want to be wearing. but my project is called the Valtierra Latin Orchestra. And,
the Velo? Is it called Velo?
Yeah, it's Velo, and that's what I usually call it for short, but it's the Valtierra Latin Orchestra. You find it on iTunes. And kind of stuff that I think a fan could give their parents, and their parents would go, this is great. This guy plays with Weird Al? Are you kidding?
I need to
that's
go
the
to
funny
that
thing.
show.
I put it. Some DJ on a Latin station was saying this is by blah blah blah, and this was by blah blah blah, and this is by Rubén Valtierra and the Valtierra Latin Orchestra. My God, can you believe this guy plays with Weird Al? Who'd have thought? He said that completely. I'm like, oh my God.
People are so.
So when we're off the road, I have the opportunity to be able to sit in the studio and make up, create songs, and then I go and I go and record them with like the finest people, the finest Latin jazz musicians on the planet, the guys that played with Santana, Tito Puente,
Wow.
on and on, all those guys, and they're all friends of mine.
That's great. And so we've got an album on iTunes we can check out. What's the album called?
It's called Valtierra Latin Orchestra. It's called, or else you can just type in VLO.
Okay. Well,
And I'm very proud of it.
I listened to some of it. It's not, I don't normally listen to stuff like that, but I appreciated it. I thought it was good.
Did you hear it, really?
Yeah, there was like, 30-second samples on iTunes.
Right. Some of those iTunes samples, they're kind of crazy. I mean, some of them go almost as long as the song.
I think one of them was like a minute and a half long.
Yeah, I know. That it seems to be happening more. It's like fine with me because it's like sometimes they cut it off right at the good part.
Right.
And no, you
Need to buy.
please. Anyway, it's been a pleasure talking to you.
Yeah, Rubén, I'm still uncomfortable saying your name because I feel like I'm going to say it incorrectly.
You've
But
been saying it perfectly.
Rubén,
Yes.
I feel like I'm saying it too long.
Nope.
I'm saying it correctly.
You're fine.
Okay. Well, Rubén,
Don't say Ruben.
right.
It's like saying, "Hey Ben, Ruben."
Rubén.
It doesn't even make sense.
Well,
The accent's on the second side.
oh, I forgot to put the accent on my paper. Where's the accent go?
Ta-da.
On the E?
Yeah,
Which way is it faced? To the right or the left?
it opens up. No, wait a minute.
Goes straight up.
Starts small and goes small and then ends up. Does that make any sense?
No. So wait. So like the top of the accent, does that face the N or does it face the R?
Yeah, that faces
Okay.
the end.
All right. Well, my sheet that no one else is ever going to see is now
Didn't
correct.
you take Spanish in high school?
I took French and I forgot it all.
Ah, oui. Je
Yeah.
parle un peu de français.
Yeah. Okay.
Je parle un petit. You don't even remember that?
I have
Shame
no
on you.
idea. S'il vous plaît, I know. That's please. Rubén, I really appreciate you calling. Will you do another one?
Sure.
Okay. Excellent.
Great. I'm sure your fans are probably going to write in a bunch of hate mail now, but oh well.
Hey, mail's mail.
Hate mail demanding that I never come back.
Well, I'm the judge. It's my show. I want you to come back. So even if I get death threats, I'd still like you to come back.
There is no way that you're going to use 40 minutes of this material. 45 minutes.
No, I will. I don't know. Maybe I'll play part of it and put the rest online. My show's only 2 hours each week, so I don't have too much time.
Well, hopefully I was as amusing as Jim West.
You were.
I hope so.
At the time of this recording, I've interviewed John and Jim so far, and they were both really great. So.
Well, they're the best. Steve is. You can probably catch him the next time the mothership comes by this part of the galaxy. But he's a sweet guy too. I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, and hopefully you come near Albany, and I'll get to say hi to you.
Yes, please come by. All right.
Thank you very much, Rubén Valtierra. Yeah.
That's me.
All right.
See you later, fans.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye. That was Rubén Valtierra, and he's the keyboardist for Weird Al. Really great guy. That was a lot of fun. I look forward to having him on again. So you can also check out the Valtierra Latin Orchestra, or VLO, VLO. Check them out on iTunes. They've got websites, all that good stuff.
Oh, Ethan, that was such a great interview. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. But I do have a question for you. Who is this Dan Rossi?
Yeah, Dan Rossi, back when I was in college, doing stand-up and doing open mics and stuff, there was this guy, local comedian, Dan Rossi.
Yeah, but you did say he was the biggest Weird Al fan that you know, and he has tattoos of Weird Al in the band. How come I haven't heard of him before?
Yeah, you're right. Maybe I was thinking of this guy, Dave Rossi, and I maybe said Dan's name by accident.
Well, that makes a lot more sense, but how could you make such a mistake like that?
Well, Dave, give me a break. This was 8 years ago, and it was obviously intern Frank's fault.
Oh, say no more. Of course it was intern Frank's fault. Totally makes sense. Intern Frank, you're an idiot.
Yes. And for whatever reason, I do want to also point out that Rubén did not correct me. He just went along with the questioning. Well, okay, so anyway, back to why I brought up Dan Rossi. You know, I obviously was supposed to say Dave Rossi, but Frank messed me up. You know, I was asking Rubén if he was offended that this fan who has all of Weird Al's band tattooed on him, if he was offended that there was no Rubén tattoo.
Yeah, so that's actually an interesting story. Rubén and I have talked about that in the past before, and Ruben's not incorrect in saying that he did deny me a tattoo, but I don't know that I've ever straight out asked him directly about getting a tattoo.
Well, I mean, so for people who are not familiar with your tattoos and where they're placed, you have a portrait and a signature of Al, Bermuda, Jim, and Steve on your lower legs. Now, if you did get a Rubén tattoo, where would you get it?
Well, I mean, there's only one place that you can put a Rubén tattoo, and Rubén was right. He would not be in a family-friendly place.
Well, I think that's good enough for me.
Well, Ethan, that was a lot of fun getting to listen to one of your old interviews. I think we should absolutely do that again sometime.
Yeah, I think that would be great. You know, I have another one with Rubén. I have ones with the other guys in the band. I even have a Dr. Demento interview, so it would be really fun to get to play more of those at a later date.
Looking forward to it.
Oh, hey, Dave, I have an idea for a secret episode.
Oh, yeah? What were you thinking?
What if, on the secret episode, we discuss in great detail each TikTok video of Sebastian Shepard, a.k.a. David Grant, a.k.a. Dave Grant, a.k.a. Stella's fiance, a.k.a. Sheepdog, a.k.a. Paul Squall, a.k.a. Wolf and Wool, a.k.a. MC Chalkskin, a.k.a. at SEB_SHEP?
Wow, that sounds like something Sebastian Shepard, a.k.a. David Grant, a.k.a. Dave Grant, a.k.a. Stella's fiance, a.k.a. Sheepdog, a.k.a. Paul Squall, a.k.a. Wolf and Wool, a.k.a. MC Chalkskin, a.k.a. at SEB_SHEP would absolutely love, and everyone else would probably totally hate it.
Totally hate it? But why?
Because they have already subscribed and are obsessively following everything Sebastian Shepard, a.k.a. David Grant, a.k.a. Dave Grant, a.k.a. Stella's fiance, a.k.a. Sheepdog, a.k.a. Paul Squall, a.k.a. Wolf and Wool, a.k.a. MC Chalkskin, a.k.a. at SEB_SHEP posts.
Everything Sebastian Shepard, a.k.a. David Grant, a.k.a. Dave Grant, a.k.a. Stella's fiance, a.k.a. Sheepdog, a.k.a. Paul Squall, a.k.a. Wolf and Wool, a.k.a. MC Chalkskin, a.k.a. at SEB_SHEP is fascinating.
Well, I agree with that. So head right on over to wolfandwool.com and then follow at SEB_SHEP on TikTok.
This week's episode is brought to you in part by Discover Darwin, promoting tourism in Darwin, Minnesota. Not only is historic Darwin, Minnesota beautiful, it's also fishy.
Darwin, Minnesota is home to Fuyu Outdoors.
Fuyu Outdoors designs and manufactures high-quality, well-engineered, and rugged UTV accessories.
Fuyu Outdoors carries UTV toppers, UTV topper accessories, and UTV fish houses.
Oh yeah! Remote-controlled motorized UTV fish houses! That sounds like a lot of fun, Dave! Oh, we should totally get one of those for the podcast.
I think that is a really great idea. Then we can put our idiot intern Frank in it and send it somewhere far, far away.
I know, right? And it says here that the Can-Am Defender motorized fish house will make you the envy of 10,000 or more lakes.
Wow, 10,000 or more lakes. I don't even think I know 10,000 lakes. If I tried hard enough, I think I could name maybe like 6.
So visit Darwin, Minnesota on your next motorized fish house expedition. Discover Darwin, more than just the twine ball. And after you visit Darwin, Minnesota, be sure to visit discoverdarwin.biz.
Each and every week, we are able to bring you our podcast absolutely free thanks to our sponsors, Burrito, Discover Darwin, Jackson Scoggins, David Grant at wolfandwool.com, and Angel Valenzuela and David Cash.
And thanks to our amazing, close personal friend Patreon supporters, Javier, UH Jeff, Zeb, Allison, Scott, Blair, Adriana, Frank from the Bank, Kenneth, Jared, and Jake, and thanks to William and everyone else in our pretty stinking majestic Patreon family.
If you enjoy our family-friendly weekly Weird Al podcast, please consider supporting us at patreon.com/2000inch or by picking up some pretty stinking majestic official Dave and Ethan's 2000-inch Weird Al podcast merchandise, such as our line of Gill and Chill products and our brand new line of Discover Darwin products over at shop.2000inch.com.
And it's a brand new month, so you know what that means. It's time for Bermuda to do a drum roll for us to announce the Patreon raffle winner.
Congratulations to November raffle winner, Tom Dog. They win an official Dave and Ethan's 2000-inch Weird Al podcast t-shirt or equivalent from our merchandise shop at shop.2000inch.com. If you want to get in on the December Patreon raffle, along with all the other great perks of being in our Patreon family, be sure to join this month over at patreon.com/2000inch. Or you can just continue being a cheapskate.
We love hearing from our listeners and other Weird Al fans. Join our Facebook community and post about Weird Al by visiting group.2000inch.com. And we also love it when we receive voicemail via our official 27-hour-a-day podcast hotline, 347 Spatula. You might even hear your message on a future episode. The 347 Spatula Hotline, the official hotline of Dave and Ethan's 2000-inch Weird Al podcast, is sponsored by Angel Valenzuela and David Cash, two amazing Weird Al fans and longtime podcast supporters.
For everything about our podcast, including incredible past episodes and guests, be sure to visit WeirdAlPodcast.com or 2000inch.com and keep up on new episodes, podcast news, and events by following at 2000inch on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And a big thank you for subscribing and leaving reviews on your favorite podcast app.
Thank you once again to our guest, Rubén Valtierra. And thank you to John Bermuda Schwartz, Joe Kraus, Bruce Triggs, and especially thanks to me, as well as Alternative to Sleeping with Ethan Allman, WCDB 90.9 FM, and Comedy Pipe Radio. Thank you to the Grammy Award-winning Jim Kimo West for our incredible podcast theme song, and thank you to Weird Al Yankovic, as this podcast probably would not exist without him. And a big thanks to all of you, our listeners, subscribers, Patreon supporters, and sponsors, and everyone else who makes our podcast possible.
Thank you for choosing Dave and Ethan's 2000-inch Weird Al podcast, and until next time, remember to gill and chill.
Well, so Dave, we know what I was doing in June 2011. What were you up to?
Oh, you know, the usual. Making a colored tapestry for my belly button lint. That was Dave and Ethan's 2000-inch Weird Al podcast, episode 135-inch. Seriously, who is this Dan Rossi guy?
I've seen the tattoos, and I can only guess that there's only space for one more, and I think I know where it is.